Hello sweet team, welcome back to my channel. This is Sweet Ajele. I am so excited to be with you all today, and I hope everyone is doing wonderfully well. In today's video, I share with you all how to make your own homemade organic apple cider vinegar with the mother. Now, if you're new to my channel, join the sweet team by clicking on that subscribe button right now. While you're at it, hit that bell and hit all notifications so you'll be among the first to be notified when I upload a video. Let's get started. For this recipe, I have my apples. I'm using Macintosh. You can use any other type of apple that you like. I have here some cane sugar. It is natural sugar. You can use any sugar that you prefer. Here I have some water. You're also going to need a glass jar like this. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be like this, but I love this because it works so well. I also have a large rubber band right here. You need a chiffon cloth. You can use any kitchen towel as long as it's breathable. Okay, and you can also use a yarn like this one. If you don't have a rubber band, that will work. This will work just perfectly. So let's begin. I'm going to add the sugar into my water, and because I want to make organic apple cider vinegar, the sugar's organic, the apples are organic. I washed it really well. I scrubbed it very nicely, so you want to do that. So I'm just going to allow the sugar to melt while I go ahead and cut my apples. The ratio to keep in mind when making apple cider vinegar is 1 apple to 1 cup of water and 1 tablespoon of sugar. So for example, if you're using 4 apples, you're going to use 4 cups of water, 4 tablespoons of sugar, and please try to use purified or distilled water. It is the best for this recipe. You may be wondering why you need sugar when making apple cider vinegar. You need sugar because that is what the bacteria feeds on for the fermentation process. Without sugar, it will be impossible. Now you can use honey, but it'll only slow down the fermentation process. But you can use it. I prefer my natural sugar. It works for me all the time. So just add the sugar water over your apples and then add enough water to cover all as needed for the recipe. Once we've added enough water, we're going to go ahead and give it a quick stir to ensure that the sugar is well distributed, and then we'll cover it up with our chiffon cloth. You do not want to use a lid or a plastic wrap because you want the bacteria that will be growing to breathe. You don't want it to suffocate, okay? Now, if your chiffon cloth is as big as mine, no worries. Just fold it a couple of times and it will work just perfectly. So I'm just going to go ahead and cover it up, and using the rubber band, we will hold it in place, and we want to keep it in a cool, dark place. Okay, just keep it in your pantry or wherever, but I'm going to be keeping it on my countertop, so I'll use a kitchen towel to cover it up to give it that dark environment that it needs for the bacteria to grow beautifully. And we are back. This is about 3 days later, and I'm checking on my apples, and as you can see, the top of it is quite dry, and we do not want that. When it dries up, fungus begins to grow. We are not trying to grow fungus, we're trying to grow bacteria. So what we're going to do is go ahead and stir it up and make sure that all the apples are well hydrated at all times, at least for the first 10 days. Once you do this for 10 days, you don't have to do it anymore, because once acid begins to build, it'll kill any fungus that attempts to grow in there while growing the good bacteria that we need to make apple cider vinegar. So I'll be stirring this every 2 to 3 days, and I'll do that the first 10 to 12 days, and then I'll leave it alone to ferment for a good 6 weeks. So all in all, we have to ferment this for 6 weeks. All right, y'all, we are back to unveil our apple cider vinegar. It is exactly 10 weeks later. It is okay, don't panic. I couldn't take care of it exactly at 6 weeks because I had to work. I had so much I had to do. So the time just flew by. But what I know is that once the acidity level rises, it begins to evaporate. So as you can see, it has receded quite a bit. This is where it was, and now it is way down there. Not way down there, it has receded a little bit. So we're going to transfer it into our preferred containers or bottles, and you don't want to use any metal utensils. I have this old apple juice bottle, and that is what I like to keep my apple cider vinegar in. I just take the label off, and yeah, it is just perfect, and it's also very, very beautiful. You also need a strainer. Be sure to use a plastic type. Do not use the metal type because you don't want the acid and the metal to mix. So yeah, I also have a plastic ladle, so it'll work very beautifully. This strainer also comes with a funnel attachment, so it'll be all in one. So I'm just going to speed this up as we transfer our apple cider vinegar into the bottle. Continental food, madam. Food, madam. International food captain. We'll show you how to make pizza, jollof, banku and okra soup, sushi and pastries. All this and more. We are all done. To make apple cider vinegar is not hard at all. Method number 2, we'll be using the peels and the core. Yes, the parts that you normally get rid of, no, do not do that. Keep it in your freezer until you're ready to make your vinegar. So in my jar, I'll add my sugar. To that, I'll add my water. Now, what is the difference between what we're making now and what we just made? The two main differences are that we're using parts of the apple that we will normally get rid of, but most of all, we'll be using some of what we just made as a starter. So with the first method, we allowed the bacteria to grow naturally, whereas in this method we're aiding the growth of the bacteria because there's already bacteria in the one we just made. Once we've added all our ingredients, we're going to follow the same process we did with the first method. This is my favorite method because I get to have my apples and eat it too, in that I can enjoy my apple and still make apple cider vinegar. And also because we added some of our first batch to it, it's gonna give it a head start, and this will be ready in 4 weeks. And there you have it. Our final apple cider vinegar is ready. I went ahead to get out the peels and the core, and I'm just transferring it into our used apple juice bottle. Now, after this, I'm going to allow it to age for the mother to develop. Yes, we're making apple cider vinegar with the mother, and I can say we're done without you all seeing the mother. Now, what is the mother? The mother is the dark and cloudy substance that you usually see in apple cider vinegar. And believe me or not, it develops on its own. As the apple cider vinegar ages, the mother develops, and it is the most nutritious part of your vinegar. And this is what it looks like right after it was done, and this is it 8 weeks later. I hope you can spot the mother just floating in there, but if not, take a look at it from the bottom up. Do you see it? Absolutely beautiful, and it tastes just the same way it would if you picked it up in the supermarket. I hope you are inspired to try, because all you need is your apple peels and core. Things you will normally throw away turned to a treasure. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do not forget to give your girl a thumbs up. Thank you. Share and subscribe if you have not done that yet. If you're a new subscriber, welcome to my channel. This is Sweet Ajele. Thank you so much for subscribing. And to the sweet team, y'all know I love you. Until I see you in my next video, stay safe, keep loving each other, and remember that the love of God and family is life's greatest blessing. And guys, ke onamini ochemi sweet mahabotu. Bye y'all.